This is John Boquette with the Newtown Bee, and we are here in the next of our series of video outreach messages. Our COVID-19 clips for this weekend are going to include our first selectman, Dan Rosenthal, Health District Director Donna Colburn, and for his first appearance in the series, Newtown Police Chief Jim Viadero. We're going to start with Donna Colburn, our Health District Director. Donna, pretty big news in the past 24 hours with the announcement and the executive order removing the need for prescriptions or referrals for COVID-19 testing, and preliminary news of a first testing center that's going to be open to the public here in Newtown. What's the lowdown on that?
Yes, we've long awaited. We're getting more testing available to the community. We have one testing drive-through set up for this coming Thursday, May 14th. At Physician One down on South Main Street. It's, I'm hoping it's the beginning of much more available testing for people in the community. The Bee will be helping us get that message out as well, as far as information on how people can sign up for that. But I know that it's the first step of hopefully many of making testing more available to folks in the community.
And any additional or new advice to folks in town? Are you getting the sense that, like the governor has been talking about, the social distancing and some of the other practices are being adhered to and taking effect?
Well, I think people are being pretty compliant. That's what we're seeing. I know that our businesses and our food services have been working very hard to help meet the needs of the community and take all those practices into account. We have had increases in cases. Some of them have been in our healthcare facilities, our long-term care and assisted living. I've also seen an uptick in case transmission in residential households. It's unfortunate that the virus is very contagious, but we need to work really hard on trying to minimize that transmission. But I will also say we've seen a lot of negatives, so I'm hoping that all our effort is in helping to keep the virus transmission and the case numbers down to where they would have likely been without all of that effort.
Excellent. Chief Adira, welcome. Thanks for joining us here this morning. And just give us a read on how things are going, particularly in the relationships between the police department and folks in town. A lot of folks on good days are out. They're gathering around. How are things going in terms of keeping the rules enforced while keeping good customer relations going?
Yeah, it's been going remarkably well. We've had a lot of cooperation from the community, areas that people normally congregate. Our officers frequent. We've had several complaints, minor in nature, and when we arrive, we speak to individuals. They'll disperse and they'll follow our advice. So we're very, very thankful. As far as police services to the community of Newtown, they really haven't changed other than our ways of providing services. We're trying to do what we can do over a phone, taking certain complaints involving some type of financial crime or something doesn't require an officer to be there in person. We also ask people questions prior to us arriving there via our communication center. We usually ask people to come out of their homes. Different ways we're doing motor vehicle stops, handling accident scenes. Our officers have been very active. Calls volume has gone down due to some of the activities around COVID-19, but we are seeing different activities in different areas. We want to thank everybody in Newtown. They've been very, very cooperative, very understanding. One thing that we do have a problem that's still going on, very large problem in Fairfield County and throughout the state of Connecticut, is vehicle theft. What we again have to ask, please, we know that you're home, we know that you feel that you're safe in your home, but lock your car. If you have possessions that are valuable, keep your car locked. Please don't keep your key fob or your key in the car. Keep your garage doors locked. Don't make yourself a viable target for anybody. Make it as hard as possible for somebody to try to take your car. So that's all we ask of everybody. But we do thank everybody for their cooperation. And we know with the warm weather coming up, with the May 20, the advent of the new restrictions being lifted, we're going to see a lot more activity out there. We'll be very visible, and we'll be working with the health department, other town officials, and our business owners to make sure that's a very, very smooth transition.
Very good. First Selectman Rosenthal, your situation has been pretty busy throughout this whole situation. Just give us a quick recap on things that are happening on your end.
Sure. And before I begin, I do want to, and I can't say it enough, how fortunate our community is to have Donna, Chief Viadero, working, around the clock on, trying to protect the community. You know, Chief's case on many levels, in Donna's case, protecting community health. Really fortunate to make my job a lot easier. I think just thinking about kind of what Donna shared on the testing day that we're going to have next week, and we've seen our cases come up over the last several weeks. I think what we have to keep in mind is, first and foremost, we need to, keep wearing masks, keep up with the distancing. We have to remain vigilant, because even in any kind of reopening plan, that's all predicated on our, still distancing and following guidelines and protocols. But I think as we think about the cases that we have, and again, my heart goes out to folks that are still suffering with this, families that have lost loved ones, and it's not anything that we can take lightly. But we also have to bear in mind that a big chunk of those cases have been resolved. So that number that you're seeing is a cumulative number. Donna's worked very hard on the contact tracing. There's no common thread connecting any of these cases. They worked very diligently on that to make sure that we're chasing down every last lead on them. But I think we need to balance kind of the growth in cases and understand the backdrop is there are people that are becoming well that have suffered from COVID at the same time. Moving on, on a fiscal front, the Legislative Council Wednesday evening did ratify the 2021 budget for the town. That budget contains no tax increase, and there were also a few capital projects that ordinarily would have gone to the referendum ballot. The governor's order was very specific in terms of the things you're allowed to approve because of the emergency window we're in terms of moving the community forward, public safety, significant financial loss. That was all weighed, and the council did approve a communications project, or at least part of it, a sewer project where half the money is coming from a federal grant, and then also our road bond.
Very
So
good.
thank you, John.
This is John Voquette with the Newtown Bee. We have already reported, and folks can go to newtownbee.com for a recap on that council meeting and the approval of the budget outside the referendum process under executive order. We're continuing to report on local and regional news, as well as statewide information and national and global information regarding the COVID-19 emergency. Continue to go to newtownbee.com. We're doing updates literally every few hours, 5 to 7 days a week. We hope people will continue to follow us as we start thinking about May 20th and reopening the Newtown Bee. Also continue to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for emergency updates and breaking news. This is John Voquette, and we are here with the next in our series of our COVID-19 clips, our video outreach messages to the community. Thank you, Donna Colburn, our Newtown Health District Director, Police Chief James Viadero, and First Selectman Dan Rosenthal.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.